Hey guys, and welcome to this week's installment of Tuesdays with Lauri. My name is Lauri Laukkanen and I'm one of the editors at SLR Lounge. You can also find me on Facebook at Lauri Laukkanen Photography. In this week's installment, we are going to be continuing the series that we started last week. Last week, we took a user-submitted photo submitted by Olli Viljamaa and took a look at skin retouching, the tools that we use to skin retouch, and I taught you guys a tip on softening some skin texture. Today we're going to be continuing the editing process with dodging and burning. I'm going to teach you guys the technique that I use when dodging and burning, and I'll explain you guys a bit of where do I apply the dodge and where do I burn. So with that said, let's move over to Photoshop and let's get started. So here you guys can see the finished edited photo that we created from Olli's photo that he submitted. This is the image straight out of the camera, and this is what we did last week. We got rid of some of the reflections around here and did a pretty quick but pretty good skin retouch on her skin. Today we're going to be continuing by doing the dodging and burning. So here you guys can see the dodging and burning that I did for this image, and then the week after, we're going to be going through the color grading and some final fixes, sharpening and all that, and we'll get to this final product that we have here. So today I'm going to turn these layers off and we're going to talk about the dodging and burning. Now, first I want to stress the fact that as with almost all things in Photoshop, there are always multiple ways to achieve the same look. This way of dodging and burning is the way that I myself prefer, and I found that this gives me the most control when dodging and burning. So how I dodge and burn is I use the curves adjustment panel, and I'm going to open up it here. Let's make it just a tiny bit smaller and move it here. So what I do is I use this hand picker tool here and go over a shadow area, which I'm going to soon burn. So for example, this area here, click down and pull down until I like what I see. This is about the darkness that I like to see. So then now once we've applied this curves adjustment layer on the whole image, what I do is I fill this layer mask with black. So let's see here, let's just get this filled with black. And now what we do is I use a simple round brush from here and put the size a bit smaller, and I pull down the flow to about between 7 to 10% depending on the image. For this image, about 8% works really well. So now what we do is we zoom in on the photo and start dodging and burning. Now first we do the burn. So why is it called burn? When you burn stuff, it turns black. So we're darkening stuff, we're burning it. So now with this small flow of 8%, we can easily control how much burn do we apply on this image. And I always start out with the large areas. So the cheekbone around here, on the sides, the hair, the large shadow areas that are already there. Now what I'm doing is I'm just accentuating and kind of transforming that shadow to a bit better form, to something that I like a bit better. Once I've done the big dodging and burning, which I'm doing now, I'll zoom even closer and make the brush smaller and start doing the finer details. But first, always I start with the big areas. Let's get this done here, and let's darken a bit here as well. Also make sure when you're dodging and burning, don't only dodge and burn the face. Make sure to burn and dodge the whole image. Otherwise, the image looks a bit incomplete in a way. So now once we've done the large areas, as you guys can see from here, just very large, soft blurs, burns, we're gonna zoom in closer and start doing the more detailed areas. So now, for example, this area here, I want to darken that. I want to add a bit of dimension into the lips. So I'm burning the outer areas of the lips, and then soon I'm gonna dodge the inner areas of the lips, and that way we get this nice three-dimensional look. Now we're also going to burn around the nose, as well as a bit around here. This is a pretty quick burn now, as I'm just doing this for a tutorial, but usually I'd spend a bit more time refining my masks and burning and thinking about the areas that I want to really burn. One thing I'm gonna still burn is these eyelashes here, as well as the areas, or this eye here. So we're gonna just darken these areas, darken the eyelashes. And by using this low flow of 8%, what we have is a much more control. So that way we don't go crazy at the first time, but by staying over the same area for a longer period of time, we get and kind of build up the effect. And that's what I like about using a low flow. So that's something I always do. Now we've burned the eyes as well. So now it's time to do the dodging. So now once we've burned, I take another curves adjustment panel from here. And now again, use the hand picker tool, go over a highlighted area, say somewhere around here, and pull it up until I see what I like what I see that way. So that's pretty good. And now again, we're gonna fill in the layer mask with black. And then again, we take a large brush, low opacity flow of 8%, and just start dodging. So dodging, we're brightening up the areas that we want to highlight. And again, how does the human eye work? We look at the areas that have more light in them. So when we brighten something up, the human eye will focus on that area more. So that's why we do this dodging and burning. We're kind of hiding some areas from the image by darkening them, and highlighting some areas by brightening them. So that's kind of the idea of dodging and burning, as well as kind of adding the dimensionality into an image. So kind of making it more 3D in a way. Again, now we've done the dodging. I'm gonna just take a bit of the dodge away from this area here. I went a bit overboard. With Photoshop, the good thing is by using these masks, you can always go back and forward. You can lower the opacity if you think you went a bit overboard with your dodging and burning. You can always kind of tweak what you've done later once you've created these layer masks. So that's also why I like using this layer masked version of dodging and burning. Now, again, I'm gonna go into the eyes and do the small details as well as the lips. So just brightening up the white areas around here, as well as the these areas here. A bit from here under the eye, we can brighten up that area just a tiny bit. And this eye, it's a bit more in the shadow, so we won't dodge it as much, but just a tiny bit to kind of make it a bit more three-dimensional. And the lips from here. Yeah, so let's just dodge these areas and add a bit of dimensionality. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the way I dodge and burn my images. How do you guys dodge and burn? If you have a technique that you guys like to use, leave a comment down below and share it with all of us, and we can all learn together. But with that said, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and as always, if you have any questions or requests for future episodes, just leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you all out. With that said, make sure to like, share and subscribe, and see you guys again next Tuesday. Bye.